Hello, y'all. I wanted to yap about this because I think it's interesting. I'm sick, by the way, but we have a new guy at our squadron. Very shy, very reserved, very quiet. And we try to BS with him, break him out of his shell type of thing. And the other night, we were leaving work, and he came up to me. He's like, hey, can you give me a ride back to the dorms? Yeah, of course. So we're driving back, and I'm like, so do you just not have a car yet, or do you not have a license? Like, what's the deal? He's like, I don't have a license. And we see that actually a lot. There's people that grow up in cities, whatever it may be, don't have a license. Cool. So I was like, all right, today, my coworkers, which I didn't know, tried to get him to drive across base with them. Like, they were like, hey, we want you to drive. He was like, I'm not comfortable with that. So everyone was like, all right, cool. Then later in the day, we kind of started talking, and it came up again, like, you've never driven. And I'm asking him about it, and he's like, I've never driven ever. Like, I was like, you've never driven a golf cart? He was like, no, I've never driven anything. Never touched the gas pedal, never touched the brake pedal. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, I tell him, how about this? You'll drive my car, that's fine. And we'll just do a lap around the parking lot at work. Is that cool? He's like, yeah, sure. He agrees. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we go out after work. We're all leaving. And not one person got in their car and left. Not one person said, oh, I'm going to go home to this. I'm going to go home to that. Every single person that we work with sat on the hoods of their cars, sat on the bed of their truck, and watched this kid drive for the first time in his life. And, I sat him down. I was like, get comfortable. This is the brake. Press the brake. This is the gas. Press the gas. The whole nine. And we did a couple laps around the parking lot, and he hit the brake, he hit the gas, the whole nine. And we got back around to where we started, which we did like 4 or 5 laps around the parking lot. 30, 40 people out there, all giving him an ovation. Everybody was nothing but happy for this guy. And it's just one of those things where, people say like, oh, well, why do, I don't know if people say this, but they might think it, like, why do people in the military call other people like their brothers, or like it's cringy that you call them your brothers, or like, this is my family. And the reason is because a lot of the time, we don't know what you've been through. Maybe somebody doesn't have a dad. Maybe somebody doesn't have a mom. Maybe somebody has no parents at all. And frankly, that really doesn't matter to us, right? Like, you're a younger dude, you don't know how to drive, and it's very like telling where when you don't have that thing that you desire, or that you should have had, or that you need, for instance, like a parent, right? Like, you don't have a dad, you don't have a mom. It's like you almost fill those holes. You can't necessarily fill them all with one person. Maybe you can. This is just a take. But you take pieces of the environment around you. Sometimes it's a teacher, sometimes it's a coworker, sometimes it's, a loved one, whatever it may be. And you like compile these good traits from all these different things to make up for something that you feel as though you're missing. And it doesn't have to be a parent. It could be anything in your life. And it's just so awesome that, like, one person gets this from, or I get this from one person, I get this from another person, and I come together to be whole. And eventually you become the person that can give those pieces to the people that need it. And I just love to be able to help people, and like, I love teaching, and it was just one of those moments where it was like, it was very wholesome. Like, it wasn't meant to be wholesome. It was meant to be like, yo, let's show you how to drive, and it just ended up being awesome. And I was a huge fan of this situation, and I was more than happy to let him drive my car. Like, yeah, go ahead, man. And I told him, I was like, my goal for you, what I want to see from you, is I want to see you having your license before I leave for deployment. So it should be fun, and we'll see. So, thank you.